Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the E&E Style Showcase. I'm your host, Jonny Wimbush, and I have with me tonight someone you may have seen before on the show in a different chair, Miss Regine Michel. Good. Hello to you.
Hello.
Happy to have you here once
Happy
again.
to be here.
So just interview yourself. Introduce yourself to our audience, and just tell them about your businesses and who you are.
Sure. So my name is Regine Michel. I am an entrepreneur. I own a hair company. It's called Bomb.com Hair. Okay, where we provide luxury hair extensions and lashes, different collections. It's available all over, and we'll talk more about that. And I'm also a co-owner of a t-shirt company. I'm actually wearing one of the shirts here, and it's called Vertical Dominion. I co-own it with Jenna Thomas. She's also my best friend, where we sell apparel with a message. I also, it's like a lot, but I also work in administration. In the human resources department. That's kind of where I went to school. So HR, it's my background. And I'm a youth leader at my church. Yes, it's called the Excelling Church Ministries. We have 3 campuses between New York, Texas, Austin, and New Jersey.
Wow.
So that's pretty much me, and I just want to say thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I do follow your Instagrams.
Okay.
And I'm very impressed with just the level of your business is kind of growing and growing and growing. So let's talk about Bomb.com Hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting some extensions. Just kidding. So let's talk about Bomb.com Hair. You are the owner of that company, yes?
Yes.
So how did that come about? Like, when did you first get the thought of, I need to start a hair company?
I would say when I was much younger. My sister and I, our mother, she was a home health aide, and she would go away for about days at a time. So it would really be up to my dad to kind of do our hair, get us ready for school, get us prepared. And he just really wasn't good at it. Okay, we would go to school looking kind of crazy. So it was really up to me to take care of not just my own hair, but my little sister's hair. So I kind of started off experimenting, and I got better and better the more that I did it. And as I got older, I would do my friends' hairs, and they would just leave feeling so happy, feeling good about themselves, looking in the mirror more confident, and I love that feeling.
Yes.
Time goes by. Now I'm in college, high school, college, and I got more into extensions.
Okay.
You know, I never really had long hair, but I loved adding on to my natural hair, my real hair, and I loved the way I felt. It wasn't until I had a really bad experience with extensions where I had a white shirt on, had some extensions in that I saved my money for, and at that time I was working like 3 jobs, so that was hard-earned money. And I wetted a little bit by accident, and all of a sudden there was this weird color kind of dripping onto the white shirt from my hair, and I said, well, what is this? Coming to find out, there was dye in the hair, probably some other chemicals, some abrasive things in the hair, and they claimed to be, 100% virgin hair company, and it wasn't truthful. It was dishonest, and more experiences started happening like that, where my extensions started shedding all over the place. It was all over the floor. It was matting up. I kind of had like this bird's nest in the back of my head. You've seen it before. I was looking crazy, and I said, I'm wasting my money.
Wow.
I'm investing into nothing. It's not truly an investment. So that's really where it began, kind of through bad experiences, birthed out of that.
Okay, and so you've been working with hair since you were a little girl.
Yes.
And just from experimenting. That's amazing.
Yes.
So from that experience, now let me tell you, looking at her Instagram for bomb.com, when she posts up, I want to get extensions.
Oh.
Let's not talk about that.
You can get
but
some.
it's very good to see you flourishing in the things that, out of your experiences, I feel like God's given you a way to change people's lives, make them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's really what like purpose is about. It's about changing lives for the better. So what challenges did you have now? You have the vision for bomb.com hair. Maybe you've gotten the baby steps going. Yeah. So what did you come against first that was like, ooh, maybe this won't happen? Or, did you ever have moments of doubt? Just go into that.
I would say every step of the process, I had those moments.
Really?
Starting out, I said, oh, I'm going to start a hair business, and this will be easy. But, getting into a business is not for the faint at heart. You really have to have some tough skin going into it, because you're going to have those moments where you're like, I'm excited. And then another moment, I just want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. And for the hair extension company specifically, my biggest issue starting out was finding the right vendor, finding the right type of hair to sell to clientele. Because you become known for the type of product that you sell. As a pastor is known for his church or his preaching style, so you are known for your product or your service. So that was it starting out. Then it became making it a legal business entity. Do I want to be a corporation, an LLC? Then it became getting pictures. I didn't have a budget. I was like, okay, what do I do? Took my iPhone 7. I prayed to God. I said, God, I don't necessarily have the resources. What do I do? And he's like, I gave you everything that you need.
Wow.
You already have everything that you need. And as I prayed to God and I got more in his face and I sought God, Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God. I sought God first. Wow. And he began to show me, he put resources and people in my life that were like, look, you can do this. This is a way out. And so I started downloading free apps. I started using my iPhone 7. I got a lighting mirror so I can have some type of, really good lighting, even though it's not a professional camera or professional photo shoot. Then from there, it became making the graphics, making those flyers, having a professional look without the professional budget.
Right.
And as I prayed more, I was actually seeking other people to do it. I was wasting money. And I said, God, what do I do? Again, I gave you everything that you need. It's in your hands. I started to download more resources. I went onto the computer. I took advantage of what God gave me. It's already there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So ultimately, to anybody watching, what Regine, I feel what you're saying to them is just really believe in that vision that God put in you. Really go after, what he has for you ultimately.
Absolutely.
Because this didn't come off like just a whim, like you weren't walking down the street. I was like, hair extensions!
Yeah.
Yes! I think that's very profound. And hopefully the viewers are encouraged when hearing that. So let's talk about the Vertical Dominion clothing line. Listen, if you're a Christian and you're watching the show, this is stuff that you want to get because it's in your face. It's like, you're sitting here with like a barcode on your chest. They're like, what is this? Then you read the message. It says bought with a price. This is amazing stuff. And you're co-owner.
Yes.
So go into the origins of that company.
Sure. So Vertical Dominion provides Christian apparel, T-shirts, hoodies, hats, wristbands with a message. We were founded on Matthew, the second part of Matthew 6:13, that says, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. When you look at the word vertical dominion, vertical is a direction. Okay, and dominion is power, it's sovereignty. So when starting out this business, we said, okay, no matter what we do, what direction we go in, we're going to make sure we glorify upward, the direction, glorify God who has total power and total sovereignty. So that's how we kind of started out. It actually was the co-owner. The co-owner and I, we were going to an event where she has to sing. She's a singer, Jenny Thomas, yes. And when she was going out to sing, she said, what am I going to wear? What do I put on? And I said, I don't know, I guess we'll just put on anything. And I said, no, we're Christians. We represent God when we go out. Let's get something that represents God, literally, physically, on the outside, not just the inside. But and I was working on Crown of Glory, which is the premier T-shirt. I'll show you here.
Yeah, hold it up.
Crown of Glory, and that's founded on Isaiah 62:3, which says, you are a crown of glory, a royal diadem in the hand of the Lord your God. And in a different translation, it says, you are a crown of beauty. So I was just working on that, for more so bomb.com hair. And I was like, do you like this? And she was like, I love that. we need to go out and we need to go buy these shirts and put them on. And she bought 6 before we even established ourselves as a legal, business entity. She just bought 6 and she said, we're selling these shirts. We're going out, clothing with the message, buy the shirts. Yeah. And that's really how it began.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about the process of actually starting a business, because a lot of times, I interview people that are entrepreneurs in music. I interviewed a company recently, a nonprofit organization called Sonye, and it's a very inspirational organization. So talk about the process of getting that business legal and in good standing, because I know you mentioned LLC versus a corporation, and you have incorporated. So what steps did you take, or what can you recommend to our viewers that want to take the next step? They have the idea for a business. What would you say, from your experience, is the best way to take?
First, self-research. There are books out there. Google is out there. The internet is out there. We have these phones. Do the research.
Yes.
Find out what are the different types of business structures, a sole proprietor, LLC, a corporation. Even from a corporation, there's 2 divisions. What are the different types of entities that are out there? Next, what kind of business do you want to be? Which type of entity would best represent you? Okay? And then there are resources. One resource I took advantage of, and I recommend to everyone, especially if you're on a budget, which I definitely was, is the Small Business Administration. I believe the A is SBA. And they have one, if you're watching locally, they have one in Farmingdale and Hempstead, and they give you free business advice. They tell you the essential things that you need to start a business. And Christian entrepreneurs, we got to have each other's back. This stuff is like, for some reason, secret and private. No, spread it.
Right.
Tell each other about it.
Right.
Definitely take advantage of free local resources. They also give you a booklet where you can review on your own time. They talk about the value of having a lawyer, okay? Or even pursuing legal advice. If you're not going to full out pursue a lawyer, in accounting, you need someone to keep your books. You also need someone on your team as far as marketing. At first, you may be the marketer, you might be everything, the CEO, CFO, starting out. But it talks about the essential things that you need to start a business.
Yes, that's awesome. So you heard it here first. So that's awesome, and I definitely wish you the best in those endeavors. So talk about now the rewards of reaping from that hard, like that initial process, the grind. How do you feel when you have a customer that's repping, the Vertical Dominion line, or you have a client with bomb.com hair? And how far have you expanded? Talk about that a little bit too.
Okay, so first, it definitely feels good.
Yes.
When you see somebody who takes a selfie and they're wearing your hair or your lashes, or, and I'm my own ambassador. I wear the hair, I wear the shirts, as you can see. But it feels good just hearing, I love the hair is bomb. I really put the time in to research the type of hair that I wanted to sell, and I know that it's not available everywhere. I know everyone doesn't have the type of hair that I sell. When it comes to the t-shirt, it's unique. Everyone's not wearing that type of t-shirt. So it's definitely a rewarding feeling, especially knowing that a lot of people say, oh, I want to do this. I want to start a business. I'm actually doing it, and no, it's not easy, but write the vision, make it plain, right?
Yep.
Habakkuk says it says that in Habakkuk. And even in reading that, you were talking about vision earlier.
Yes.
And one of my mottos is, your vision is valid. You said this too. You have purpose. We have purpose. And for me, my purpose in life is to be the person that I needed when I was younger.
Wow.
When I was younger, I needed someone to do my hair. When I was younger, I needed clothing. That's really what I needed, you know. And so now getting older, I feel like I'm becoming that person, and I'm helping. And I do that also through my ministry,
yes.
The Excelling Church, the youth ministry. But like just to piggyback off of the vision, I think about the book of Habakkuk, one of the greatest prophets in the Old Testament. And I really sat down and started to dissect Habakkuk. And a lot of people just focus on Habakkuk 2. Write the vision, make it plain. But if you start off from the beginning, Habakkuk is complaining to God.
Interesting.
He's complaining. He's saying, God, why do I have to be in this type of situation? You know, why am I experiencing this? You know, why do the Babylonians, who are wicked, why do they get to, you know, roam the way that they do?
Right.
You know, and God actually replies to Habakkuk. You know, he gives him instruction. He tells him what to do. Habakkuk comes back a second time with more of a complaint. You know, and he says, you know, he's still saying the same things over, and God gives him an instruction. He says, write the vision, make it plain.
Wow.
You know, and I think that, to me, it's a two-part instruction.
Yes.
Not only writing the vision, because sometimes we have the vision, and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Right, right.
But we never wrote it. We never took pen and paper. We never, like, wrote it out.
Like billionaire,
yeah.
real estate agent.
Right.
Bam.
Write it. Put it down.
Yes.
And the second part is make it plain.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't make it plain. We overcomplicate it, and it becomes this complex thing. It's like 45 pages, and that's good when you develop it and it becomes a business plan. But let's just write the vision.
Yes.
What do you see?
Right.
Where do you see yourself? What are you building? You know, a t-shirt company. That's it. What are you building? Hair company. That's it. You know, ministry.
Right.
Singing, writing a book. That's my vision. So, yeah, when I think about that, when I think about vision, I definitely think about Habakkuk.
Yes.
And even after God replies to him the second time, he turns his complaint into prayer and praise.
Yes.
You know, so when starting a business, definitely as an entrepreneur, you know, if you feel like you don't like where you are, maybe you're working a 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5. I'm also content there. Or maybe you're not working, or whatever it is. Turn that complaint into praise.
Yeah.
Ask God, what do I do? Where do I get started? How do I go? He'll send you the resources. He'll help to expand that vision. You know, vision is God-given.
Right.
Okay, and the greater the vision, you know, the greater the man, the more that he trusts you with it.
Yes.
Yes.
My pastor, Stephen Mangum, he always says that when there's a God-given vision, there's God-given provision.
Ooh.
And I feel like you really just echoed that sentiment that, and especially with the Habakkuk scripture, just, you know, when you're in that situation and you feel like you're stuck or you're complaining about how the world looks around you, God can help you to direct it towards him and just focus on getting it done. I think that's amazing. So let's talk about the ministry that you're a part of.
Okay.
You know, 3 campuses, that's amazing.
Yes.
What's it like for you being in that type of ministry? What has it done for your life?
Okay, so I'm a youth leader at the Excellent Church, which is in Queens, New York. And I would say that it's definitely fulfilling and rewarding. You know, we actually had a youth night event last night. It was 90s theme, throwback. And all the young people, I work with ages 8 to 17, but I oversee the entire youth ministry. So pretty much young people 0 to 17 years old. And they came out with their 90s outfit, their 90s get up. And I made sure to have an incentive. You know, best dress gets some type of prize or reward. And we did team building, and we spoke about the Bible, you know, the divisions of the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of young people in the world, I'm not talking about, you know, one particular church or ministry in general, but a lot of young people are just looking or in need of direction, you know, especially when it comes to God. And we're here, I feel like I'm here to help push them in that direction, because again, I said, I want to be the person that I needed when I was younger.
Yes.
I don't feel like I had that person to break down who is God, you know. I would go to church and I would see people with their hands lifted up, and I'm like, well, what are they reaching for?
Yes.
You know, what is this going on? Why are they crying? Why are they on the floor? You know, and I would see people, you know, speaking in tongues, and I didn't understand it. And I would ask people, what are those languages? And they're like, they're speaking in tongues. And I'm like, well, I don't know what that means. Talk to me. Tell me. Explain to me. Break it down. And so growing up, getting older, I never wanted to ask anything because I felt like I didn't know. So I feel like I get to play a part in my ministry where I just get to break it down.
That's amazing.
You know, Jesus, oh, he's a man that you can worship. He's a man in the Bible. His mother and father, Mary and Joseph, his earthly mother and father. You know, salvation. What is it, being saved? What is worship? What is praise? You know, why is it that people lift their hands up? I'll tell you.
Right.
You know, the presence of God is an amazing feeling. You know, I get to break down to to them, you know, this experience of church so that they can not only have it on Sundays, but when they go home, when they're going through something that's traumatic in their lives, because young people go through stuff, whether or not they talk about it.
That's very true.
And they see everything. They see it, you know, they just don't talk about it all the time. Or they may talk about it with their friends, but they see it. And they sometimes hold it in. Even really young people see it, but they don't know how to express themselves. So, yeah, just getting the opportunity to work with them and, you know, expound on that.
That's amazing. And because now you have this clothing line, you know, I'm thinking back when I was in high school and I became a Christian when I was in high school, my senior year.
Yeah.
You know, to think like there's a clothing line just for, you know, inspirational merchandise. I'm like, yes, like now I can like, I'm a Christian. Look at my shirt.
Yes.
And you know, it's and let me say this, that it's not what it's about. You know, just the fact that I'm wearing a shirt that says I'm a Christian, but in your heart, you're proud of having that relationship with Christ. So you gladly wear, you know, the Crown of Glory T-shirt or bought with a price, and it's really a conversation starter, which I think is needed now in this society. You know, everything is so technologized. It's made up a word, but it's good to really be able to hone in, you know, and really show your faith now.
I just want to piggyback off of that because when I put on a shirt like this, bought with the price, you know, this is scriptural base.
Yes.
I think I made up a word too. But 1 Corinthians 7:23, it says, "Be ye not servants of man, for you are bought with the price." When I wear this, I feel good because I'm representing Christ, and I think about, you know, being bought with a price. He paid the ultimate price. I know it's a barcode, but it's kind of a play on imagery, because at the end of the day, when he, you know, hung high and stretched wide, and he was pierced, and he was beaten and bruised, and, you know, he wore a crown of thorns and nailed to a cross. He paid a price. Yeah. You know what I mean? The ultimate price. You know, so I just love wearing, you know, the shirts and what they represent. Really what they represent. So yeah, good. I just wanted to piggyback off of that.
All right. Going to church again on the E&E Style Showcase. That's awesome. So now looking forward, Regine, where do you see, and I know this is a big picture question, but where do you see your businesses going? Like, did God really show you the end result? Or now that you're walking, you know, in entrepreneurship, and this is for the viewers too, you know, what happens when I start that business? I have this vision, you know, what, Regine, are you kind of experiencing now that's bringing you towards that bigger picture moment?
Definitely, I'm experiencing open doors.
Okay,
you know.
Can you elaborate?
Sure, like I'm meeting people who are stylists, salon owners. Wow. You know, I'm not introducing myself, but I'm coming across paths with people who are in this type of arena. And I am praying about it, definitely, but like let's take Vertical Dominion. As I go in my prayer closet, I'm thinking about like different stars, celebrities, you know, also locally, not just, you know, with 1 million followers and things like that. And I'm starting to think, okay, well, how can I connect with them? Because I want them to wear a shirt. You know, when you're talking about expansion here, I want them to wear a shirt. You know, I want other people to see this. I wanna go to brick and mortar. Right. You know, I want to be able. I want it to be where people can come in and pick out a shirt, try it on. You know, definitely short-term pop-up shops, but long-term, definitely a building, a place to sell the shirts. Definitely not just shirts, but as you can see, it's a sweatshirt. That's in development as well. But going larger. When it comes to bomb.com hair, right now it's just extensions. Right now it's just clip-ins and lashes, but I want to expand to wigs. That's a huge industry, but it takes so much investment. I even think about different platforms that I want to reach. You know, you got to have, you know, 2, 3, 5-digit, you know, numbers in order to get those type of advertising platforms. Also for that, I want to have brick and mortar. You know, I want to have a shop. I want people to come in and feel the hair, touch it, know what I'm talking about, you know, because when you think about extensions, everybody sells extensions. What makes you different? Well, come feel this. Come see it. Come see the longevity, how long it lasts. Come experience you know.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
even now, while you're experiencing the success that you're experiencing, you still have a picture of what's to come.
Yes.
Right. That's very important in pursuing purpose, and that's what we're here for on the E&E Style Showcase. So thank you for joining us once again on another episode. I'm Jonny Wimbush, Regine Michel. Thank you so much for joining us again. Have a great day.
Thank you. And can I share with you like where they can purchase it?